Let's do Ude Garami. Ude Garami's arm entanglement. We're going to do the basics of it tonight. And we're going to do the top end of it with the upward direction. There are fundamentally two directions to do Ude Garami, guys, upwards and downwards. Okay. There's also a compression variation, but we'll get into that maybe at some point later in our training. But right now, this is real basic stuff, and the basics work really well. Okay. Ude Garami is it's the bent arm lock. A lot of people in mixed martial arts call it the Kimura. It is a really, really effective arm lock. There are a lot of ways to get in there, a lot of applications, a lot of variations to this. We're just going to talk about the mechanics of how to do it correctly, and then we'll take it from there as you get better. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to attack this arm on Eric here. Okay, a good way to start is from a side position. You can start from a top position like in a tate shiho or a mount position, but I'm just going to start here from the side because I can get more crank here, and it helps you learn the basics of it better. There are several key things that are going to be happening here. I'll point them out. The first one is the elbow in his neck. And this provides really a base, okay, an anchor to provide it in here, okay? If I just try to put my arm anywhere, I want to have this elbow in here tight, okay? Another really important thing is I want to control his wrist and control his elbow, and by doing so, I'll control his shoulder, okay? Because this is an elbow lock and very much a shoulder lock as well. Okay, so you're going to be placing pressure on both the elbow and shoulder. Technically, it's an elbow lock, but you'll feel it in your shoulder as well, guys. Okay, so we're putting this elbow here, and I'm grabbing his wrist. And the other key feature is when I grab his wrist, I like to get his wrist here. I like to hook it, okay? Because that way I've got a good control of it. Now, some guys will grab this way, that's fine. But if he's got a slick arm in a no-gi situation, I might lose it too quick. So if I meat hook it like this, or actually hook it like this, with my thumb and fingers like that, I can catch it better. Okay, I'm just going to grab it right there at that point. See that? Okay, if you had a gi on, I'd be grabbing that. But there we've got that. Okay, here and here. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do with this hand, I'm going to slide it under, and when I do, I slide under and I grab my own wrist. So you see kind of a figure four situation here. Does everybody see that? Okay. Now, this is the basic configuration. Now, you can either grab your wrist like this, or you can meat hook it like this. I didn't do this because I can lever up better, okay? That just works for me. Work what's best for you. Okay, so here, slide in here, catch it. Okay, now, you can keep, a lot of people teach it where they keep the wrist on the mat. I like to lift it up slightly. And see, it's always starting to hurt it by doing that, okay? So, you know, you can do that, it works if you keep the wrist on the mat. But I like to lift it up, and as I do, I like to pull it in. Here's another key feature. I like to pull in on his wrist. Don't just leave it there. When I'm doing this, I like to crank it inward. See how I'm pulling in? And I'm driving my elbow into his head, into his neck, and I'm cranking up like this. So we're applying pressure here at this joint. We're applying a lot of pressure here at this joint. Okay? Now, when I'm actually applying it, we're working here and we're fighting here, I want to trap this, but before I really try to do a whole lot of stuff here, when I get my elbow, I want to try to slide this arm under if I can first. If I can slide this arm under, and when I'm actually applying it, we're working here, I'm working it, and I want to get under here if I can first, and then I'll put it over. See how I'm doing this here? And I try this, and it does, he knows what's coming. He knows there's an arm lock coming. So if we're working here, and I kind of get my arm under it first here, and pry it over like that, see how it lays it? Just right over like it's a track, okay? And I put it there, elbow in the side, and I can crank it up like that, and there we have it. That's the basic configuration. I'm working here, somehow you're gonna have to work to get this arm. He's just giving it to me, but you're gonna have to work to pull it off and get it down, and I'll have Derek show you how to do this in a minute here. But see how I've got his head here like this? Keep his head, trap it here, and you've got this. Now, if he's not very flexible in the shoulders and elbows, I might be able to get an arm on it, but he's pretty flexible, so it's not working, is it? So I'm going to have to get this arm over his head. So get your figure four here. See how I've created my arm lock here? Now watch with this right elbow, I'm going to slide over and down and jam it right in, and now I've got it. So Ude Garami, these are the basics of it. Ude Garami is a really efficient arm lock, and we're doing just the upward direction, okay? Again, there are a lot of ways to get them in here. We're just showing the basics.
So I like to feed it in from the Mune Gatame, so I haven't really changed very much in my Mune Gatame except for the fact that Eric is doing a very good job of framing now, okay? So he wants to make some space with his arms so he can start shrimping with his hips. I want to continue to hold this, but he's giving me an arm, so I'm going to take advantage of it, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to lean in and push down until I can catch with both wrists, okay? Another way of doing it is if he's framing right there and I'm having difficulty pushing, I can use my head. Feed it in and grab. But most of the time, it's pretty easy to just push in, push down, catch. Okay, slide the hand back around. Now I've got it nice and tight, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop over, back down, and clamp it in nice and tight. Okay? 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 Framing out, okay? Lean forward, not in. If I lean in, he's just going to push on my throat some more. That's what he wants. I'm going to move his arm up a little bit, so that gives me space to feed this down in my hand, okay? Come around, hook my wrists together, okay? Pop out, sorry, pop back in, hold his hair a little bit there. Okay? And you notice that if my, like Steve was saying, if your elbow is in the ear or the neck, okay, and you've got this nice little chicken wing formation here, okay, it's a very quick tap, right? The farther out my elbow is from his head, the more 90 degrees or even more the arm is, the more stretched out I am, the more I have to twist because he's got a higher range of motion.
Guys, one of the most common ways to escape for the guy on the bottom, in this case Eric, is to power his arm out, to straighten that arm out. And that's more common than you think, okay? And so what by keeping his chicken wing there, it keeps him from powering that out. He's lost control of his ability to straighten his arm.
Okay. And again, if you have to, there's other things you can do. If he starts straightening his arm out like that, I'm going to come forward and catch it with my chin and bring it back in. Or if he starts straightening, I'm going to put my forehead right there on the elbow. Okay. He has a much more difficult time now of straightening it because I'm starting to lock the elbow joint. Okay. Another way is as soon as it starts going out that way, you step over and collect the head. Okay, so there's options for it. All right, one more time. Nice Mune Gatame. He's doing a good job framing out. I'm going to lean him forward. Okay, push that down until I catch it with both hands. Come around, wrist, wrist, elbow out, elbow back in, compress down. There you go.
Derek, can you show that without showing the elbow? Just slide it over, so it's like you're really doing it.
Oh,
yeah. So yeah, don't exaggerate that pop out. See how quickly he rolled his arm over Eric's head, and he put it right back into the side of his neck. That's what you want to do. Okay. All right. Let's give it a try, guys. Let's go. I'm gonna work on this side here. Look, this is just an old pro wrestler's trick. I probably saw the Mongolian Stomper or somebody do this when I was a kid. I don't know, but I've seen it years ago. Anyway, we've got the Ude Garami going, all right? And this is good, okay? But what you can do if you want to add a little more torque by moving your wrist like this, rotating your forearm like this, helps do it. So from here, if I want to add a little more crunch to it, I just add this and just drive down. You can get a little more power, like you're whacking something with a hammer hand, okay? And so I've got the Ude Garami, and it's just maybe not working. Even as a tough guy, angle this, and you can get a little more lift with your elbow too. So there you go, like that. So this is good, you know, this is all good, but this may help get it a little more and crank it a little tighter. Just a little sly dog thing. And try that a little bit. It's just, and try both sides so you get to fit real. But again, you do get a lot of lift this way, but you get a little more lift this way by just, you know, I mean, it's, you know, like a nail, instead of driving something down, you know, do that, you don't smack down, you get a little more power this way. So, I don't know, seems to work dynamically. Okay, another variation is if I grab both hands like this and I crank it out, like that. Another way is to back out and crank it out, like almost a karate chop. But this works quite well too, and crank it out like that. Not as efficient as this, not as efficient as this.
Tight, and I'm putting pressure. A lot of people start putting their hand right in your face, which is traditionally everybody knows is, yeah, spin on lock, right? So if I can't finish with the submission here with the neck, I just drop my head down, and I usually try to switch my arm right to the wrist on the other side. Now, when my grip here, I don't use the thumbs. I rotate both hands over. This makes for a super fast spin arm lock. I don't have to travel as far. I just jam up in the shoulder, and I squeeze everything into me, super tight. So this is very key on the pressure, okay? You know, you can do all this, some pressure out like this, but I like to have a little bit of movement. I don't want to change my position to tap him, so I just rotate here. And you'll find out if this is really working when you try it. So, I'm sucking in really tight into my body and rotating.